Hello and welcome to the sewing studio. Today I'm going to show you how to make the block that forms this quilt. And this was a pattern that was in a magazine quite a few years ago. And I just love it because you can use a jelly roll or you can cut your own strips. So I'm going to show you how to make this. This measures approximately 65 inches square, but you can make it as big or as small as you want. And this is your block, so you can put as many of those or as few of those as you want to. So let's go over and see how we make those. So the quilt behind me was made using a jelly roll, and I'm now going to make another one in greens, and I'm using all the greens that I've got in my stash, so I'm cutting these up. So if you wanted to do it, you could make lots of different colours or you could stick to one colour theme. So it's just about your light and darks to create the block. So what you're going to need is all of your background strips are cut at 1.5 inches wide, and then you need to subcut them into a 2.5, a 3.5, a 5.5, and a 6.5, and that is what you need for each one of these. So a quarter of this, these are the blocks that you're going to need. And then in your chosen colour, that's a 2.5 inch strip which has been subcut into a 2.5, a 3.5, and a 5.5, and that's these here. So I'm going to put those together to create a quarter of this block. So I'm attaching the 2.5 by 1.5 to my 2.5 inch square using a 1/4 inch seam. Now, ordinarily, I would press these back, but so I'm not hopping up and down, I'm just going to finger press them back. And then I'm going to make sure that my green piece is at the bottom and my cream or white piece is at the top. And then the next white piece is going to go on the right-hand side. And then I'm going to finger press that back, and then I'm going to pick up the next green piece, which then goes here at the bottom. So I'm always working around in a clockwise direction as I'm adding each piece. So finger press that back. And the next one I'm going to pick up is the green. So as I said before, we're working round in a clockwise direction. So the green one goes now on our left. And then our cream across the top. Finger press that back. And then our last cream piece down to the right hand side. And what I tend to do is I lay the pieces out in order of size so that I know they're all going to fit as I get to each one. So I'm just going over to the iron now to give that a good press. And as you can see, that forms one of our corner blocks like this. So you would do that 4 times with different shades of green or blue or whatever colour you're using, and then you would join them together in this shape. So you'd have one there, and then you'd have another one there, you'd have that one there, and that one there. So you would join them together to create that block. Now I'm just going back over to the quilt behind me to talk about how many blocks we've got and how they've been joined together. So you can see how these blocks have been put together to form a block of 4, and I've done this one, which is 5 of those blocks across by 5 down. I've put a very small navy border to frame it, and this was cut at 1 inch, and then I've done a cream border, and this was cut at 3.5 inches, and I'm going to put a navy binding onto it. And you'll notice with this one that some of my lights are patterned as well, whereas the one we've just done, my lights are plain on that. So it's entirely up to you how you do it. So as I always say, make it your own. But this isn't quilted yet. This is obviously just the top. So what I would like is, if you've got any ideas on how I should quilt this, can you please leave those in the comments below? And that will help me out immensely. So as always, make it your own, have fun, and I look forward to seeing you here in the sewing studio the next time.